the Bowels of Netflix, where your fearless co-hosts Isaac and Larry force each other to watch the worst pieces of shit on Netflix. We will go over every bad edit, all the broken dialogue, all the wooden acting, and laugh along the way, because this is the Bowels of Netflix! Alright, and welcome to the Bowels of Netflix. I am Isaac, and with me as always is my fearless co-host Larry. How are you doing this week, Larry?
You know, it's funny you say fearless, because I have, since I was a child, always been, deeply afraid of zombies, and yet I, still consume so much zombie media. It's disgusting.
Zombies really have proliferated.
I saw the original Resident Evil when not long after it came out, probably when it hit DVD.
You were a wee lad.
Yeah, I was 13 thereabouts, and deeply, deeply scarred me. And yet, now I play zombie-based video games, I watch zombie shows and movies, and I've never quite lost that level of fear, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was similarly scarred by The Exorcist when I was but a young boy, and now I can't come unless there's vomit on my genitals.
That is deeply upsetting, given the entire plot of The Exorcist. But no, yeah. So now you know the real me. My early life was shaped by a fear of Resident Evil and Mars Attacks. If that doesn't say everything you need to know about me, then nothing does.
Now I know what to upload into your dream feed via your Alexa.
Oh, God, I'm having enough nightmares as is. It's not... Your wife and I were nightmare buddies, apparently, so let's not even make my nightmares any worse.
Nightmared about killing dogs.
I know,
monsters.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
I had a nightmare where I tied a little bow on a puppy and we were happy forever. Happiness frightens me. The concept of it.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with it most times.
Oh, God. So we are the Bowels of Netflix, two old friends. We hate each other. We make each other watch movies, and you get to enjoy the pain without experiencing the pain. The podcast...
That's a podcast, folks.
The premise of this podcast is based on Schadenfreude, which I never really thought about, which is wonderful.
Huh, yeah, you know what? You're right.
We're bad people. Anyway, find us on Facebook, on Twitter.
That's never been down.
Send us an email, bowelsofnetflix@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you if you've seen any of these movies, if you have any suggestions, or just suggestions for the show in general, or, movies we can watch. Mm-hmm. Yeah, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You know what? Give your grandmother a hug.
Yeah, it's Father's Day. She deserves it.
Damn straight. She took plenty of it from old Pop-Pop. All right,
the sheet that they banged between was stained with the juices of many a love-making encounter. This is horrible. Let me branch off. Oh, no. Oh, go on.
No. We have to stay on this topic because my wife and I currently sleep on my grandparents' bed.
Oh, right.
Which we inherited.
I always forget.
So the love that has been uponeth that mattress is multi-generational and smelly.
Yeah, the multi-generational smells, I think, are more important.
Yeah, I want to know when they bought that bed so I can appreciate when I inhale and press my nose into the mattress. If anyone's eating lunch, you're welcome. So I'm covering Resident Evil.
One more quick thing. I wanted to shout out Sarah and Anthony. I was just at their wedding yesterday, and they both independently told me how much they enjoy the show. So, hey, thanks, guys. It's really nice to get positive validation. Your wedding was gorgeous, and I'm glad you enjoyed the maybe the world's most best and worst wedding gift of all time.
The picture of the bride in the little pink car was amazing.
Yeah, the little pink fire truck
is probably the best wedding photo ever. That if you're gonna hang, get a nice print and hang it in your home, it needs to be that picture. Fuck the groom.
Yeah. Anyway,
all right. So, Resident Evil Afterlife. This came out in 2010. It's the fourth movie in the franchise, I think.
Only fourth?
Yeah, fourth.
I was hoping it was 5 or 6.
Of 8. There's 8 now.
Are you serious?
Wait, no, I can't count. There's 7.
Okay, Jesus.
So
Lord.
this is right in the middle.
God Almighty.
And it had a budget of $60 million, so a pretty big budget movie. Mm-hmm. And its worldwide gross was $300 million, so it was a success for sure. Runtime 97 minutes. Kind of standard.
Wait a minute. Resident Evil Afterlife made $300 million?
Yeah. It's a huge franchise.
I'm shocked. I thought it was I thought it was such a niche thing that, people didn't go. I'm really blown away by that. Really.
Yeah,
Wow.
I've never seen any of the movies or played the game, but I've always been like aware it was a fairly big thing.
I thought it was
it's not
like
the Marvel universe or something. But...
Sure, I thought it was one of those like sort of a niche thing that had a fandom that was small but rabid and dedicated. I didn't realize that it was like that. That's a lot of money for a movie I thought would have made maybe $2 million.
I feel like there's a lot of husky video game players who really like Mila Jovovich, myself included. So I that's definitely, that helps.
Yeah, I suppose so. She's pretty much the star in all of them, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's the lead, at least in the fourth one. I don't know, maybe she got her shit together. She's an interesting cat. I read her Wikipedia page, and she's like a crazy pothead, but also like gets a lot of shit done. Like I think she's written books or does a ton of philanthropy stuff, but is like dedicated to weed, but not boring. In like, but still like isn't like, I don't know, loser stoner, high functioning stoner.
That's interesting.
I would never have pegged her for a pothead either.
Oh yeah, all I really know about her is her movie career appears to be doing bad video game adaptations.
Yeah, more or less.
I mean, because she did, she was one that was fairly famous for being terrible. It was that guy who... Oh, she's in a couple. She was in Underworld. She's in the Underworld series, and I believe those are based on a video game. And that's that director that's... he's a real dickhead. He, like, boxes his critics. I forget his name.
Jeez.
Uwe Boll. Or however you fucking pronounce his name. Yeah.
So, IMDb for this is 5.8, which is a little higher than normal, but still, definitely not a fan favorite in any crazy sense. Rotten Tomato Critic is 21%, so fairly low, but, not a total bomb. Mm-hmm. And Rotten Tomato Audience is 48. So it's really just kind of, I don't know, middling for a Bowles movie. Mm-hmm. Nothing too remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a couple of minutes of all of these, and I don't remember which one was which because it's all the fucking goddamn same. But I figured there's no way that the fourth movie in the Resident Evil franchise is possibly good. It's not possible.
I have two different scores for it.
Okay, that's interesting.
There's the real score of just a movie, and then there's, this movie was based on a video game score. So we'll get to that toward the end.
Interesting.
So we open on a slow motion shot of a crowded pedestrian walkway in a busy Asian city, I believe it's Tokyo, during a rainstorm. Everyone is walking by in suits, holding umbrellas over their heads. The camera slowly pans up a pair of ruby red heels onto some sexy legs in stockings, finally revealing a young Asian woman standing without an umbrella, soaking in the rain. Still in slow motion, low-rent industrial rock music begins to swell. It sounds like if Trent Reznor's dog tried to compose a score for an action movie that Vin Diesel's dog was going to star in.
That's such a perfect description. I can hear it in my head.
It is so bland and just like every trope of industrial rock. It's made me sick. So after exceedingly long time in slow motion of people in the rain, the wet Asian chick grabs a middle-aged man and starts eating his neck. The crowd around them panics and disperses while we get an overhead shot of all the umbrellas fleeing the zombie attack in an ever-expanding circle while rain falls down, which admittedly is a pretty cool shot. I like that. Mm-hmm. Then cut to some time later, and there's a couple, like, the city's all hollowed out, and there's corpses littered everywhere on the street. We see a couple snipers up on rooftops, but zombies quickly eat them, and they go down. Now, below ground, there's a secret science bunker that's enormous. We get, like, a digital representation of it, and there's all these, like, dumb shots where it's almost like Tron, like, glowing lines where it outlines, like, the shape of the bunker, and it'll show you the location we're at in the bunker, and it'll have a little thing on the corner, like, because I think, I didn't realize this, the bad corporation is called Umbrella, right?
Yeah, that's the Universal Resident Evil bad guys.
Okay, and the movie opened with all the umbrellas. I see what they did there.
I didn't even put that together until you said it now.
I didn't until just now.
God damn.
But it's like Umbrella Tokyo headquarters, 6,000 feet underground. It's like stupid.
It's so...
So all the human scientists full of hubris are continuing to experiment with the zombie-causing disease, which is gay, I think.
I do believe that's what certain fundamentalist Christian groups believe, yes.
We see a bunch of Japanese dudes typing feverishly at futuristic workstations. The only white dude is in command at the location.
Of course. Of course. A group full of Asians. The only white man is in charge. What great. At least they're probably the villains, so this is supposed to be bad.
Mm-hmm. He's just been alerted that all the snipers have been killed, and he's annoyed and asks why the fuck they waited so long to tell him. He wears sunglasses at night, indoors, underground, in a science bunker.
So he can.
Yeah, I think that's how that song
I
went.
feel like also I keep giving you a lot of movies with science bunkers.
Yeah, there's a lot of science juice and jelly and bunkers shit.
When I think back, I can't put my finger on it, but I know there's been at least 2 other episodes where you've continuously said science bunker. And it's like, wait a minute. This is like stirring in my reptile brain that somehow I keep giving this man science bunker.
So the villain, and I guess he's the villain throughout the thing. I forget what his name is, but he's the worst knockoff of Agent Smith from The Matrix.
Oh, for God's sake.
Like, he wears sunglasses and he talks. He affects his vocals almost exactly like Agent Smith. Just that dry, robotic delivery.
Yeah.
The only thing is he has more hair, and he's a little thicker.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, it's so, like, just do something different
Also,
with the guy.
that's so... How many years removed are we from that now? What was The Matrix, like 2000, 2001?
99.
99? Yeah.
Yeah, so...
And no one likes The Matrix 2 or 3, so we're not even going to bother with those. The Matrix 1 is fucking so old, and they're still drawn from that? Come on.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like, it was a seminal science fiction action movie.
Sure.
But, like, it just hits you in the face with, oh, that's Agent Smith.
Right.
Come on. We see video comms of him talking to a sentry at the main gate. For all their clear glass workstations and holographic bullshit in the science bunker, the feed to the security camera sure looks awfully grainy for some reason. Like, do they just not update the wiring to the camera system for 30 years?
Right.
Come on.
If you've got all this fancy science, why are you using CCTV?
Exactly. So the sentry is killed and spits out a mouthful of blood. One of the Japanese science dude reports that elevator 2 is in motion, so Agent Smith orders all the guards over to the elevator. As the elevator door is about to open, we see a ninja figure drop down from an air vent behind them. It's Mila Jovovich, looking damn fine as ever. Next, we get more blatant Matrix knockoff fight scene. All the fights in this are... I mean, the stuff with the zombies aren't really, because they're typical zombie fights.
Yeah.
But with Agent Smith and the Japanese guards here at the beginning, it's straight out of the Matrix. So Mila alone takes on a dozen guards with machine guns. She starts with ninja stars and come at her katanas. She runs up a wall in slow motion, just barely, avoiding the bullets that explode the concrete inches behind her, like the elevator scene in fucking Matrix. We get slow motion bullets whizzing just by her body that she, like, ducks out of the way. They don't do the full-on, like, lean all the way back. The most famous shot in the Matrix. Yeah. They don't go quite that far.
Do they show like the bullet trails in the slow motion?
Yep. Oh, yeah, the little wavy stuff behind the bullets.
Again, how far removed are we from the Matrix at this point?
11 years. It was awesome in 1999. It just looks trashy now. She uses a dead guard's body as a shield and fires his machine gun at the remaining guards and knocks out the final one by throwing a knife into his skull.
Okay.
But then, a dozen more guards with shields and machine guns show up and lock into a Gerard Butler Sparta formation. We zoom in on Mila's eyes, and her pupils click, whirl, and expand.
What?
And then she Skyrim force shouts a blast at the guards and kills them all, leaving a giant smoldering crater in their wake.
Begging your pardon, sir?
You heard me.
I did, but I don't know that what you said made any sense.
She's a robot with powers.
Okay.
I don't know. It's not explained. Not really.
Okay.
I think I might have missed some things in the first 3 movies.
Okay. Very strange.
She walks among the corpses, surveying the damage, and another wave of guards shows up.
For fuck's sake.
It's the third wave, don't forget. Her pupils begin to fire up again, but then a guard that must have been hiding shoots her 3 times in the back, and she collapses to the ground dead.
Hooray! Credits roll!
Another guard goes over and kicks her high-heeled boot,
of course.
And you expect her to pop up, but nope, she's dead. But wait, An elevator door opens, and 3 Mila Jovoviches step out. Isaac, stop fantasizing, you horny bastard.
What the fucking actual hell is happening?
They quickly begin to kill all the guards and with machine guns and katanas.
Katanas. Yeah, I think there's a certain demographic that these movies are aimed at, which I guess is $30 million strong.
Yeah, this is true. 300 million.
Oh, right. Wait. Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. I need to sit down.
It's a lot of money.
I need to sit down. I can't believe this. Can't believe the 4th entry into this franchise made that much money. How is that possible?
And now, Larry, I have an important question. How would you bang 3 Mila Jovoviches?
Very carefully. In my dreams, because, I mean, it ain't happening.
Well, no, because they're robots, apparently.
So
it's
okay,
fine.
okay. This is great. This is a great conversation. Assuming that someone built these Mila Jovobots for the express purpose of killing generic guards.
Mm-hmm.
In this universe, do you think that they have fully modeled vaginas and sex organs?
I would hope they do, Larry. Why? Come on. It's like getting a pizza without the cheese. It's not a pizza anymore.
This is great. This is excellent. This is an excellent conversation topic.
Well, they seem sentient, so you'd want them to be able to enjoy their own sexuality.
I suppose so.
I'm not suggesting that they're just sex robots.
Well, no, I understand that, but
okay.
If they're guard killing robots, I feel like I would. If I'm the if I'm the guy who's like, okay, I need to get into Raccoon City, Tokyo Desu Noodle Shop Chan headquarters. I need 5 Mila Jovobots for this job. You know, I'm going to tell the contractor to skimp on like the sex organs because I need them more capable to be shooty, slashy, punchy guys.
We're very different people, Larry.
I guess so.
Oh, God. So, meanwhile, Agent Smith down below...
Why does anyone listen to this show?
Mila Jovovich, if you're a fan, write in.
And accept my apologies for existing.
Agent Smith down below instructs one of his science goons to flood the entry chamber with nerve gas. And he looks at him and says, "Our men are still up there." And he pulls out a giant pistol the size of a horse's dick and shoots the lame-ass goon in the temple.
Okay.
And then asks, "Does anyone else have any questions?"
How do you run an evil organization when you frequently kill your own henchmen?
I don't know.
Especially when you yourself are... Well, he's probably... If I know anything about how Resident Evil movies and filmmakers work, which I don't, but I'm guessing I do, this guy is in actuality, if he's not already, he is going to be a big monster by the end of this movie. Unless they're saving him for other movies, which I don't know enough about the franchise, but there's a solid chance he's going to be a big monster that real Jovovich... didn't mean to call it Jovovich. I started to say Jovobot and then switched it. Because I didn't mean Jovobot, and it sounds awful. The real Mila Jovovich... Now I can't... Mila...
It's a hard name.
Mila J. The real Mila J. Is going to fight him as a big monster. So...
I get the sense from this movie that he's the perennial villain and ultimately unkillable and just always comes back to life, which is so dumb.
Yeah, from what I remember of the first movie, there was I don't think there's a villain in the first, because the first one's the only one I saw. There's not a villain, but there is a secret overarching villain who you just see his hand stealing more of the virus. The zombie-making virus after the first... That's
probably Agent Smith.
Probably. I don't care. I don't care in the slightest. When you review the other 8 movies in this franchise, you'll let us know.
Please don't.
Oh, it's happening. Don't worry.
No. So there's some more fighty stuff upstairs with multiple Milas. I think one of them gets killed. I don't know. But eventually 2 of them jump through a glass window, which, don't anyone go through a glass window. It will probably kill you. The amount of lacerations you will get will probably cause you to exsanguinate. So, anyway, but they're fine. And they rappel down the half-mile shaft that's directly open above the flight deck where Agent Smith and his goons are.
Oh, how convenient.
Why would you do that? Architecturally. It's wasted space. I don't understand. So... There's a gunfire during the rappelling. Agent Smith gets more gunfire when they land. Agent Smith finally gets the drop on one of the Milas and shoots her in the torso. She goes down on the ground, and he goes over and flips her limp body over with his foot, only for her dying robot hands to release the 2 grenades that she'd been holding.
Of course.
So Agent Smith tries to run away, but the explosion is massive, and it stands to reason that he would be dead. Of course, he only has minor abrasions. He's got a little scratch on his noggin, and we see him getting into his fancy science helicopter, which begins to fly out of the underground base, while a dozen Mila Jovoviches, Isaac, stop fantasizing, you randy little nematode.
Oh, God.
A dozen Mila Jovoviches come running after him and shoot their guns at the helicopter to no avail.
$300 million.
It's a quality film, Larry.
Now, I understand we're jumping in at 4 of 8, but what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. It's vaguely explained shortly, but not really.
Listen, I could understand if she has a Skyrim Dovahkiin shout that she got in another movie. Like, okay, it's silly, but if it happened in another movie, yeah, whatever. But an army of Mila Jovobots is a bit harder for me to swallow somehow.
I can only get so hard, Larry. Don't say it.
They're just Ken dolls down there.
God, I'd still rub up against it.
You are just,
With permission, of course. Given permission, I would rub up against the Ken doll bottom.
You know, you used to record this in the living room, but now you record it in what looks like a very tiny laundry room. Is this where your wife banished you for your sins and crimes?
I'm shackled now down here. She said, make more podcasts, make more money. She still brings me sandwiches, though, so I got that on her.
Just a little slot in the ceiling that opens up and a sandwich falls down. It's just 2 pieces of bread and a raw egg. What you deserve.
Yeah, that's about what I deserve. It's an ostrich egg, though, so it's enough sustenance.
Just cooking it on the dryer.
Yep.
You want to hear a useless... Go ahead.
What setting on the dryer do you use to cook an egg?
Over
whites,
easy.
Linens.
Whites, clearly.
Well, that's only for the egg whites. You got to poach the yolk on delicates.
You want to hear a useless egg fact that I know?
Absolutely.
When they were filming the first Star Wars movie in the desert, it was so hot that they could fry an egg on R2-D2's head.
Jesus.
There you go.
Feel bad for the whatever the actor's name who was in that thing.
Oh, I used to know, but I don't remember anymore.
Kenny Baker, or is that?
That sounds right. Actually,
I think that's it. Because Peter Mayhew.
was
right. Okay.
Yes, he was
Kenny Baker.
Chewbacca. Wait, no, wait. Was he? Who was C-3PO?
Judy Garland.
Dame Judi Dench. Kenny Baker. Now I need to know this now. Yeah, Kenny Baker was R2-D2.
Okay,
C-3PO.
cool. I randomly had that.
Yeah, that's I used to know I used to have those information. Anthony Daniels, that's C-3PO. That's right. Anyway.
So Agent Smith is...
This has been your egg and Star Wars corner. We now return you to your regularly scheduled shitty zombie movie.
Agent Smith is flying away in his science helicopter, and he pulls out his science bunker destruct button that he just keeps in his pocket. Which,
I want to see a movie where somebody... It's like somebody fishes one of those out of their pocket and presses it, and a different bunker explodes, and he's like, "Oh, fucking A. God damn it."
Just imagine being at your job in the office, and your manager is just walking around with a button that would explode the entire office. How nerve-wracking would that be?
I would have pressed it by now.
Wrestled it away from their hands. You're all going down with me.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So, yeah, there's a giant, crazy explosion of, like, white, weird nuclear science light, and there's a blast crater a mile wide, so all the Mila Jovoviches are dead. Except the one in the helicopter.
Oh, my God.
So she silently stalks through the body of the helicopter toward the pilot seat. She presses a gun to his head and says, "Any last words?" like an idiot.
Uh-huh.
He spins around in his seat and injects bad science juice into her neck. She rolls around in pain on the floor while he says, "This serum is taking away all of your special powers."
No, that's video gamey.
He kicks and punches her a few times. She tries to fight back, but is ineffective since all her powers are gone because of the bad science juice.
So, what is the character's name? Is it Jill Valentine? Do they say
Alice,
it?
I think.
Alice. Okay. Alice. Okay. I don't remember any of the movie lore, and I only vaguely know some of the video game lore. So I was just curious, because that's like one of the main female Resident Evil protagonist of the games generally is Jill Valentine. I don't know if they're related.
Why did they change her name for the movies? That's weird.
I have no clue. I mean, I really don't know. I'm sure there's some kind of fucking lore to it.
Oh, God, bless me.
I hope so, because I won't.
So he pulls a gun on her, and she cries, wait! He sneers and asks, any last words? Which, like, if really an evil guy is going to be that guy.
The Larry Beard School of Villainy. It's very, very cheap. Very cheap. And you will rule the world.
Seriously. And she responds, thanks for making me human again. So, I don't know.
What?
I think she's the original Mila Jovovich. But she got all scienced up. And I think she made her own robots, I'm guessing, to fight the bad guys. But I don't know. It's not explained. That's the closest they come to explaining the robots. Thank you for making me human again.
What are you fucking on about?
That's
what
all the
in
explanation
God's
we get in this
green
movie.
earth are you talking about? Also, you're either 5 minutes into this movie or at the end of this movie, and I don't know which.
I think 15. The action sequence took a lot of time.
I just can't wrap my head around what's happening here. Again, I know it's the middle of a franchise, but fucking A, I feel like if I started the third Hobbit movie and didn't know what was happening, I could figure it out pretty quick.
Yeah, it's you're pretty unmoored in this franchise.
Christ.
So, then he spins around and notices that the helicopter is imminently about to crash into a mountain.
And so this is not Agent Smith, right?
This is Agent Smith.
Oh, this is Agent Smith. Okay. I thought you said the pilot, and I didn't know if it was a different guy. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. My bad.
It's fine.
He's the only guy in the helicopter, Agent Smith.
Okay.
So he leaps forward toward the controls, upon which we get a protracted freeze frame of him diving through the air to the controls.
You may be wondering how I got here.
Yep, so there's a record scratch. It's still in freeze frame. We pan like all the way down the helicopter. There's like his gun is like floating in the air, and we see Mila Jovovich suspended in the air from the 0 Gs because of the helicopter's impending crash, and then boom, it crashes into the mountain in a giant fireball. And then, climbing out of the wreckage, the now human again, Mila Jovovich, comes out unscathed. But apparently Agent Smith is dead, except of course he's not.
Okay.
What the fuck, Larry?
I don't understand. Don't understand.
And then we get a 6 months later, and Mila is flying a single propeller airplane to Arcadia, Alaska, where she heard a radio transmission welcoming survivors.
So is the world overrun by zombies?
Yes.
Okay. So the whole world is overrun. Because I know in the beginning, the first movie, again, I know I keep referencing that, but I remember seeing it, and I remember a lot of, like, specifics because of how deeply it scarred me. In the first one, it's just, like, it's very similar. It's a science lab that's overrun with zombies, and then in the end, it was, like, hinted that the zombies got above ground. So I'm guessing now that it's just the whole fucking world is overrun. Okay. Yep. So also, are they, what am I thinking? Are they shambling
R2-D2,
zombies?
Larry. R2-D2.
Kenny Loggins was R2-D2. Are they shamble zombies or are they fast-running zombies?
They're pretty speedy.
Oh, God.
Fast-running.
What happened to zombies? That they're all fucking fast-running zombies. What happened to slow shamble zombies?
That's way back in the Night of the Living Dead. Come on.
No, the first Resident Evil, they're shamble zombies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as far as memory serves, they're shamble zombies.
No, these ones are pretty fast, and a lot of their faces open up into, like, rows of teeth and shit like that.
Okay. Yeah, the Resident Evil game franchise, it starts off with, like, you're fighting generic zombies, like, they're slow, shambolic, The Walking Dead, George Romero zombies. And later on, like, it's not even zombies anymore, it's like bioorganic weapons, like living...
Oh, okay.
It's just basically monsters. They've even, like, done away with zombies entirely. So, I guess, yeah.
We get a couple monstery things. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird. So... During her flight, she's recording a captain's log on a camcorder, and this, I'm not going to mention it every time, but she has, in the next 20 minutes of the movie, multiple times she pulls out the captain's log camera, which, how is she charging it in this world?
Yeah,
Where did she
anyway.
get the gas for the plane? I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
Anyway. That's a great question.
But it's just this typical thing where it's shaky camcorder with like bad video quality, and it's got like a timestamp in it, and he's like, July 18th, 1900 hours, coordinates 483 by 792 west. I've been out here for 172 days, no signs of life. It's just, that's standard stupid shit. So she finally gets to Arcadia, Alaska, but finds only a grass field filled with abandoned prop planes and helicopters. She walks over to a beach, sits down, and records another captain's log. And she's like, I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this. Coordinates 892 West 794 Bravo. Dumb. But then we see some vague thing is watching her from a distance on the beach.
Oh, my God.
Mila sees something running and gives chase. We're not sure what it is. And then she sees a swinging door of an airplane, and we have her drawing her two giant handguns and approaching the door very slowly. And we get a classic jump scare where a bunch of crows fly out of the airplane. That was the only jump scare that got me, where I actually felt startled. Even though you could see it coming a mile away.
Right.
It was also the first one in the movie, really. Then we see a wild girl with a knife jump out of the side of the frame and attack Mila. Mila quickly knocks the girl out and then notices it's her old friend, but she has a weird robot boob spider stuck between her boobs.
Okay. What?
Yep.
Say this again. Just start this whole sentence over. I need to process it.
Mila quickly knocks the girl out and notices it's her old friend. But her old friend has a weird robot boob spider stuck between her boobs.
Okay. Sure.
So.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
We cut to later that night. The girl is tied up. Mila has removed the robot boob spider, but it appears her old friend's memories have been erased by the robot boob spider, as robot boob spiders are wont to do. I just wanted to say that as much as possible. Her old friend is more or less catatonic now, so Mila shoves her in the airplane, and they take off and fly down the western coast of North America, and she does another captain's log, planning to stop in, they're going to stop in British Columbia, or not British, Vancouver, Seattle, San Francisco, 904 Bravo West.
Yeah, sure.
And finally, okay, so, as they're flying, we don't see them stop in all those locations, but eventually, old friend starts talking, but has no memory. She asks Mila to untie her, but Mila says, maybe we should get to know each other first. God, I hated that line. They fly into Los Angeles, and the city is completely burned out. There's buildings on fire. Why are the zombies continually lighting fires?
Anyway.
Months. It's been months and months, if not years,
right,
since the zombies took over.
That doesn't mean...
I don't understand.
Fires burn that long. Well, no. Stupid.
Even, crazy wildfires will burn themselves out or get rained out eventually.
Right.
They don't last indefinitely.
Right, it hasn't rained in a year.
The planet would be over if fires burned indefinitely.
Listen, I guess this movie started with a bunch of robots, so really, whatever. I don't know why we're questioning it. So
she spots signs of human life on the top of a skyscraper. There's a few people, and they have a big white sign that says, "Help us." Surrounding the skyscraper are hordes of zombies who apparently have no idea how to use stairs.
Okay.
There's an explanation for that later.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure it's great.
So Mila, being a crazy-ass hoe, decides to land the airplane on the roof of the building. And there's a whole dramatic thing that goes up to it. The ragtag survivees quickly realize what she's going to do and start moving stuff out of the way on the roof so she can land. The big meathead of the group proves to be extra big and strong during this, so that sort of sets that up.
Okay.
One dude pulls a wire up to use as a braking cable, like on an aircraft carrier. And surprise, surprise, the plane landing on the roof of a skyscraper doesn't go smoothly. The brake cable helps pull them to a stop. And just as they're about to tip over the edge and plummet into the sea of zombies, but the bolts holding the beams that the cable is tied around start to pull out of the ceiling or the roof of the building. And the plane begins to tip forward, and they're going to plummet into the horde of zombies and die. But then leaping out of nowhere comes Meathead, who grabs onto the tail of the airplane, and his hulking muscular frame is counterweight enough to stop the plane from falling and pull it back down to the roof. It's fucking nonsense, Larry.
I'm fucking so confused. I'm checked out, man. I'm checked out.
He's got ankle weights on. That's what made the difference.
God's sake.
So the ragtag survivors pull the plane back safely onto the roof. Then we get, like, introductions. It's like a 5-minute thing. It turns out Meathead is a huge basketball star. We see, like, a billboard out on the street that his face is plastered on. We learn that the ragtag group of survivors has been hearing the broadcast from Arcadia as well. Mila is confused how they could hear broadcast from Alaska, but Meathead hands her binoculars and shows her a ship off the coast of Los Angeles with the name Arcadia painted on the side of it.
Okay.
Mila realizes she must have heard the broadcast while the ship was up north near Alaska, and they've been heading down the west coast looking for survivors just like her.
Does that seem needlessly complicated for a plot point that didn't need to be needlessly complicated?
Yes.
I feel like you're really walking a big circle around something that could be very easy to explain.
This movie's walking around a circle of its own shit. We have diarrhea and you just walk in a circle. That's this. God. Okay.
Okay.
We see Meathead lighting torches around the skyscraper, which we now learn is a max security prison. So that's why the zombies can't break into it, because there is like a big 20-foot fence and gates and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
The camera pans down past the horde of zombies through the street, underground, and reveals a zombie digging through the sewer tunnels. Wonder if that's going to come up later. Like, Chekhov's gun is great when it's subtle, but, like, when you hit over the head with the barrel of Chekhov's gun in Act 1, and it's not fun when it comes out in Act 3. Ah, Jesus. Meathead takes Mila on the tour of her new home in the prison. They go to the cafeteria where the only female member of the ragtag survival group is... Ding, ding, ding. The cook.
Oh, my God.
Misogyny. Like, why not just make a guy the cook? Yeah. Like, come on. You'd have him be like you could get some comedy out of that where he's like trying to make things with like cans of beans and ramen, and he's, I don't know, this fancy ass chef who used to like went to culinary school.
Right.
I don't know. You could have something fun with that, but no, the woman's the cook.
Right.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
They're probably like,
kitchen,
look,
baby.
we got Mila and she's the ultimate weapon. We don't need to do anything else.
Yep.
I guess.
There's a bedraggled older white man who used to be a big-time Hollywood producer, and Meathead and him don't get along.
You know, this is like one level removed from fucking Gilligan's Island. It's like, you could probably make these people into Gilligan's Island characters with not much trouble. He plays all the zombies with coconuts.
Meathead takes Mila down to the basement where some dude is just chilling and standing guard. He says he's been hearing noises and I don't like being down here, but he's perpetually down there being the guard.
I'm sure he's going to have a long and fruitful life, not torn apart by sewer zombies.
Never. But the basement dude and Meathead go off to investigate the noises, leaving Mila completely alone to find a random prisoner in a crazy high-security cell, a la Hannibal Lecter.
Okay. All right. This is going to go well.
So on the nose, the high-security prisoner is the guy from the Half-Baked Fox series from the mid-2000s called Prison Break. Did you ever see that?
No, but I'm familiar with it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's the main character from that, which is the only thing I've ever seen him in. But, like, of course he's the super prisoner in this.
Okay.
It hurts. He tells Mila he's not actually a prisoner, but really an elite Marine who got locked up somehow during the chaos of the zombies, whatever. He has a whole speech about it. I couldn't keep track of it, so fuck it. He says he knows a way out of the prison, and then Meathead and the other dude show back up and say, oh, don't believe him. He looking in his eyes. He's a killer. Bad prisoner guy. Bad guy. Meanwhile, we see a massive looming masked figure walking through the streets of Los Angeles. He's got like a hood over his head and like nails sticking out of him all over the place. And he's dragging a giant makeshift metal axe that's dragging on the ground behind him.
All right.
It's like the size of a pickup truck.
Sure.
So, creepy guy guarding Hannibal Lecter is flipping through a nudie mag. He suddenly looks around nervously like he heard something. Cut to a different part of the prison and we see a drainage pipe on the floor burst open. Zombies. Somewhere upstairs, Meathead takes Mila to the prison shower so she can get cleaned up. We get a little flirtatious banter between the two, and then Meathead says, I guess I should leave, and Mila smirks and says, I guess you should. Mila Jovovich then takes off her weapon harness and prepares to disrobe for her shower. Isaac, stop wet dreaming, you blue-balled yet impotent stallion. God damn it.
Blue-balled yet impotent stallion. That's what it says on my mud flaps.
Oh, God. Before she can fully disrobe, she hears a noise. She pulls her gun out and very slowly walks over to a shelf where there's towels on it, and there's something behind it. She knocks over the towels to reveal the creepy dude from the basement with the porno mag. And God damn it, if that isn't going to be my epitaph, I don't know what is. Isaac Early, the creepy dude from the basement with the porno mag.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He died like he lived.
Trying to peep
in the basement.
Trying to peep on Mila Jovovich in the shower.
Oh, God. So she puts the barrel of her gun under his chin and is telling him to fuck off, you creep. But then a zombie with the tentacle face jumps out and sucks creepy dude from the basement with the porno mag into a zombie sewer hole. More zombies show up. Mila shoots and kills a few of them. Our ragtag group of survivors looks down the gaping zombie hole and says, well, that sure looks bad. I think, yeah, someone actually says that. Jesus. So now there's a breach. There's not more zombies coming in. I guess not all the zombies have access to the sewer. I don't know. None of this makes sense. So the hole's just there, and it's that's a problem, but not now, because we need more plot to happen before it's really a problem.
Yeah, what'd you lose? The group's Isaac? I mean, that's an acceptable level of loss.
Hey, I can sit somewhere and listen for danger while I jerk off.
And get murdered. You're literally...
Well, yeah, eventually.
Literally, your goal in this scenario is to be the canary in the coal mine.
Yeah. I already got business cards printed up. So they all show up at Hannibal Lecter's cell and argue about what they should do directly in front of Hannibal Lecter, which, why would you not have that conversation in the kitchen or something? Whatever. So... Mila Jovovich convinces them to free Hannibal, and he's not a prisoner. He's actually an elite Marine guy, so now he's just on the team, and everything's fine.
Sure.
Meathead is suspicious of him for 2 minutes, and then they're all fine.
Okay. Why not?
Stupid. He shows them to a locked garage outside the prison. They're outside, but they're still within the prison walls, so they're safe.
Sure.
And he says,
"Yeah, man, sure. You don't need to pretend it's sensible. We're all friends here."
There's a giant all-terrain vehicle that can seat 20 people. It's equipped with a bunch of weapons and high-tech shields. And then they can break out of the prison, drive through the zombies, get to a boat, and reach the Arcadia ship, which is where safety obviously awaits them.
Clearly.
Of course. Nothing bad would be on the ship. Why would there be?
Wasn't Arcadia the name of the ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal?
No, it wasn't
I know. I know it was something
It had a stupid name.
The SS Canary Coal Mine. I don't know. I do know it. I just can't think of it.
It's like the come hither motion. That's what I'm going to name my boat.
The come hither motion. Oh,
God. So, yeah, but there's a giant lock on the front of the door. So one of the smart mechanical guy from the ragtag group of survivors has to pick the lock. And it's he has to cut it open with a metal grinder to get to the all-terrain vehicle.
Sure, yeah. Why not?
And so everyone's splitting up now. Hannibal tells Mila there's a storage of military arms hidden deep within the prison, so they have to go off and find it.
Yeah, meanwhile, that's sensible.
Of course.
Definitely.
The mysterious hooded hulking figure with the makeshift axe has arrived and begins smashing his axe on the prison gates. And there's perpetually zombies at the prison gates, reaching their arms through, but unable to get in.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, and then there's just a lot of chaos here. So, Amnesia Chick, which Mila found in the actual Arcadia, Alaska.
Okay, yeah.
And she's part of the group now. She doesn't really remember much yet.
Of course not.
But she and Meathead run off to deal with that situation. They try to barricade the gate with a police car, stuff like that. Mila and Hannibal find the weapon stash, or the way to the weapon stash is completely submerged underwater. The cook lady shows up and apparently is a champion swimmer. I don't All three of them dive in and swim underwater for an unrealistically long time, and there's like spooky, like, oh, there's something else in the water, but we don't know what it is. It's probably a zombie. Stupid. Finally, Mila Jovovich pops out of the water, soaking wet. Isaac, keep it in your pants, you tumescent crustacean.
Tumescent crust. That's what my other mud flap says.
Hannibal and Cook Lady pop up after her, but Cook Lady gets eaten by a zombie that pops up out of the water.
Oh, no. We knew
Dozens
you
more
so well.
She cooked. That was what she did. Dozens more zombies show up out of the water and chase Mila and Hannibal down a hallway, and then they eventually lock themselves in the weapons vault, which, like any good video game, has a cartoonishly large amount of weapons.
Yeah, sure.
Meanwhile, the mechanic, the fussy producer, and random Asian man have gotten into the garage with the crazy all-terrain vehicle. Unfortunately, the mechanic finds that the engine is sitting outside of the vehicle, needing service. And he's like, oh, I could put it together, but it's going to take a week. So fussy producer pulls a gun and shoots the mechanic in the head.
Yeah. All right. That's sensible.
Heel turn. And
Who could have guessed
splashes. A random Asian man gets splashed with blood and yells, "What did you do?"
So, what do you think?
It's pretty obvious what he did.
It's cut and dry,
You're
man.
Covered in his brains.
Right.
So the giant axe-wielding zombie finally breaches the front gate of the prison, and Meathead and Amnesia Chick flee. Hannibal and Mila are forced to exit the weapons vault through the air vents, because they can't go back through the door they came in. So we cut to the roof to reveal that fussy producer man plans to flee in the airplane that only seats 2 people.
Okay.
That's why they couldn't escape on the plane earlier.
Right.
They have to take off a roof anyway.
Okay.
So random Asian man has followed him up to the roof, still splattered with blood and brains, is just following this guy up to the roof.
I mean, I guess at that point, what else are you going to do?
Why did the fussy producer have to kill the mechanic? Why couldn't he just say, oh, right, better get to work. I'm going to go check on this and then go get in the plane and leave.
Right.
Why did he have to shoot him? There's no reason to shoot him.
I don't. Okay.
Fucking God damn it. And why would you shoot him and not the Asian man?
I don't know.
God, just movie Larry.
Well, who was the one the producer was suspicious of? Or vice versa. Who was suspicious of him?
The Meathead and producer don't like each other.
Okay, it was Meathead. So it's not even... I could see them...
Yeah, no.
I could see him shooting Meathead because they don't like each other, sure. But just what?
Yep, no.
Why shoot him? It doesn't make any sense.
I know. Yep, nothing makes sense. Okay. Larry, the world is upside down.
Yep. God damn it.
So he yells for the random Asian man to get in because he still wants to save Asian man. I guess they're friends. I suppose. Set that up. But at that exact moment, both Meathead and Amnesia Chick and Hannibal and Mila show up on the roof. Producer fires a couple bullets at them and then shuts the door to the airplane and proceeds to take off the building without Asian Man. He almost crashes, but just barely succeeds in flying off.
Okay. The movie follows him then. He's the main character.
Yep, he takes over. Suddenly, a flood of zombies burst onto the roof, and a remaining ragtag group of survivors start slow motion firing at them with endless bullets from their guns. And it's like this standoff where they're all standing in a line, just firing into this ridiculously big crowd of fast zombies. Not even slow, they're fast.
Dumb.
So everyone but Mila gets into a freight elevator. They close the door. She throws a grenade on top of the elevator, which blows up the cable, leaves everyone in the elevator fine. The elevator starts plummeting to the ground, but that's okay because at the bottom of the elevator, it's filled with water from whatever flood, which... Yeah, when you fall down 20 flights of something and hit water, it's the same thing as hitting concrete. It's why you can jump off a bridge and kill yourself.
Yeah, it's... Oh, my God.
Yeah, but they're fine. It's like, dropping a rubber ducky in a tub. They're like, oh, damn it, my socks are wet now.
I guess that is video game logic, so I suppose there's something to
that. Mila uses the cable that's attached to the roof to rappel down, and like she's running out of time. All the zombies are overrunning her. She grabs the cable and jumps off the roof. All the zombies jump after her. And there's another explosion, so there's a bunch of on-fire zombies falling down through the air, landing on the ground past her as she's rappelling. And then she, somehow turns rappelling into, a swing and, it's so weird. And just, comes to, a gradual sliding stop.
Okay.
In the ground outside of the prison.
Sure.
And she's just among tons and tons of zombies. So and so much slow motion, and she shoots zombies in the head with her revolvers. Eventually the revolvers run out of ammo, and she pulls out her sawed-off shotguns. And there was some thing earlier where, like, her and Meathead were bonding, where they're in the cafeteria, and she, like, pulls out stacks of quarters.
Okay.
And he's like, what do you have all those for? And she's like, it's a hobby. But that's what she uses for ammo in her sawed-off shotgun, is quarters.
What?
Which I think might work. I don't really know.
I don't know either. Yeah, I don't know anything about guns, really.
If you had a blank in the chamber and stuffed quarters in the barrel, I think that would propel the quarters out.
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
We are not gun people.
No.
If you can tell.
No.
We know about guns through video games, and that's it.
Yeah, right. I can tell you the stats of a lot of guns in video games. It means absolutely nothing, but I can't tell you how they function.
So we get slow motion of a bunch of quarters flying through zombies' heads.
Okay, sure.
And then she's about to get overrun again, but she just barely is able to escape and slide under a metal door that Meathead slams shut just as she slides in to keep the zombies out.
Okay, where's the hammer zombie?
He broke through the gate, so he's around, but in the prison somewhere.
Just taking a nap?
Yeah, he'll show up.
Okay.
He's looming.
Yeah.
But I'll get to it.
Oh, good.
Calm down, Isaac. Calm down.
Okay.
The only means of escape now is to go down the hole in the shower floor that the zombies dug into the prison with. Great plan.
That's very
I guess
video
it's the
gamey.
only plan,
Yeah.
but yeah. Meathead and Hannibal are the first to go in, but random Asian man is like hesitating. He's like, I'm too scared. I don't want to go in. And then giant axe-wielding zombie splits him in half with his giant axe. And of course, like, he opens the gate and zombies start swarming the prison, but he shows up, like, in the shower room alone with no other zombies. So Mila fights him for a little bit, but can't really handle him. He ends up knocking her out and is about to kill her with his giant axe when Amnesia Chick shoots him in the head a bunch with her revolver. This annoys him, but doesn't seem to faze him all that much. He leaves Mila alone, goes after Amnesia Chick.
So, wait, she shoots him in the head a bunch, but zombies... But
he's a big zombie with an axe and a hood over his head, so we don't know what's going on.
Okay, all right.
He might... I don't know.
All right.
It's weird.
All right. It's fair. It's a video game, but the one Resident Evil game that I did watch somebody play, you get chased the whole game by this big... I mean, I think that's the plot of a bunch of them now. You get chased by this big fuck-all zombie called Nemesis, who's like this big scary dude with a bunch of like post-apocalyptic spikes and parts crammed into him. And like you spend the whole game fighting him, so maybe it's this, I don't know.
That's probably this, because yeah, he's got like spikes. It looked like nails to me, but he's got shit sticking out of him.
Okay.
And he's huge. So.
Yeah, because that was like, I think that was one of the more well-received parts of those games. Because like you spend the entire game like going through Raccoon City, and like he just shows up like busting through walls and fucking with you occasionally. So.
Yeah, he's fairly cool as a villain, like moderately, nothing great, but he's intimidating and whatever. So Amnesia Chick and Axeman have an epic showdown in excessive slow motion yet again. He's swinging his axe around, she just barely dodges. He bursts open a bunch of water pipes, so water's spraying everywhere during the slow motion, which admittedly looks pretty cool. I'll give him that.
Sure.
Amnesia Chick shoots Axeman in the head with the sawed-off shotgun, and he falls to the floor, presumably dead.
Okay.
Mila has woken up in the meantime. She and Amnesia Chick make out a little, but then Axeman gets up.
Wait, is that real, or are you just being you?
I'm just being me.
Okay.
She gets up and, like, runs over to Amnesia Chick, and they're like, oh, you killed him, good job, girl. And then they just finger each other a little bit. And...
How's your wife, Isaac?
She's all right.
Deeply
She's got me locked in the laundry room, so
I think that's
I'm
where
a little
you belong.
cranky. Well,
She's just waiting for the zombies to pull you away.
I did manage to smuggle down a porno mag or 50.
It's like in Breaking Bad, the walls underneath the insulation are just lined with porno mags.
What if you wallpapered your rooms with porno mag pages?
You would be 14 and in the 1980s.
That's true. I should just get a bunch of TVs that I hang on the walls that constantly play porn. That's the 21st century thinking we need.
Yeah, you'll revolutionize
Thank
the
you,
industry.
Larry.
Yeah, you're welcome. He's question mark.
The industry of jagging it.
Jagging it. Yeah, god damn.
Oh,
I
God.
have made many mistakes.
But, of course, Axeman is not dead, so he gets up and throws his giant-ass axe at them, which they're just barely able to duck. Then Mila takes her sawed-off shotgun, and shoots him in the head, which completely explodes his head.
Okay.
So he's actually dead now.
Okay, well.
I don't know why that shotgun blast exploded his head and the other one didn't, but whatever.
Sure.
So just as the remains of our ragtag group drop out of the tunnel into a storm drain, Meathead gets snapped up by zombies, and Mila is sad.
Oh no, not Meathead.
He was the best basketball player we had in this movie.
It's technically accurate.
Yeah. So they're just in the sewer, and Mila's like, "Oh no, Meathead, come back! I kind of wanted your wiener." And Amnesia Chick is like, "There's nothing we can do for him now. We have to keep moving." So we cut to Hannibal, Amnesia Chick, and Mila, which are the only three left, on a boat heading out to sea. Seems like they skipped a couple of steps from the sewer drain to just getting in a boat.
Yeah, anyway,
that functions.
They just kind of made it.
Yep. Okay. To be fair, I would not have wanted 10 more minutes of explaining that in this movie.
Sure.
But it's whatever. Video game. Cutscene.
Okay. All right.
They arrive at the Arcadia, which is a very large container ship. They find the airplane that the producer stole has crashed onto the deck of the ship. There seems to be nobody on board, and they're perplexed. They go to the bridge and look at the ship log, which apparently says there's 2,135 survivors on board.
Uh-huh.
Whatever. And they don't see anybody, so
there's 2,135 zombies. And one Hollywood producer.
Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, we have to search every inch of this ship."
Yeah.
So
I feel like you don't if there's that many people. I feel like you'll find them eventually.
Yeah, it's true. We'll just hang out and,
right.
We'll get a little sun.
Mm-hmm.
They go down into the bowels of the ship and find a big white science room. They have to go through like a door that unlocks. Very
I'm
video
so
game.
sorry for all the science labs and jelly and rooms.
There's
God damn, it's really occurring to me how many of these weird sci-fi movies I give you.
It's either there's Apple product placement or science jelly.
No, we need to get both.
No, I don't want both. They even pick up a tablet later on, but it's like a fancy futuristic see-through tablet.
Of course, yeah.
So thank God it wasn't an iPad. I probably would not be recording this right now because I would be screaming, running down the street, tearing my genitals off with my bare hands. Don't do meth, kids.
Yeah, for real.
Okay. So the big white science room is conspicuously empty, and they're like, what's going on? And then Mila's like, "It's not empty. This is where the survivors are." And she presses a panel on the floor, and a cryogenic tube comes out of the floor with a person suspended in it, and then hundreds and hundreds of tubes come out.
Okay. All right, sure.
So then they all split up again. Mila says, "Oh, you guys have to get everyone out of these tubes." And then she starts walking around and finds a couple of tubes covered in blood and is suspicious. She has a flashback memory for a split second of being in a tube. So I guess that's something from a previous movie,
Probably.
but it doesn't matter here.
Mm.
So she ventures even deeper into the science rooms, and there's more doors that open automatically and close behind her ominously.
Mm.
And then there's a slow reveal of Agent Smith sitting in a big science chair.
Of course.
He has, along with him, a couple of demon dogs whose heads split open in half to reveal gaping maws of teeth.
Yeah, that's a Resident Evil thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy.
Yeah, sure, sure.
I'm
fine with
it's a nice little dog villain.
Mm-hmm.
And then Producer Man shows up, and he's partly zombified. His face looks a little bit zombie.
Okay.
But he's still conscious.
Uh-huh.
And he's Agent Smith's minion. So he pulls a gun on Mila and makes her drop her sawed-off shotguns. And then there's banter, evil villain banter. Why would you ever do that? And Hannibal and Amnesia Chick show up behind Agent Smith with guns drawn. How is this evil lair set up that they can get in behind his big fancy chair?
Yeah, how does that work? It's a fucking no lab is designed that way.
There's a back door, I guess.
So let me. I want to back up 1 second here, though.
Sure. Any questions?
Before she went into this, the evil part of the lab, was she telling them to get the people out of cryogenic sleep or whatever?
Yes. We have to free everybody.
In what fucking universe is any part of that a good idea? Let's really think about this here. Either they're innocent people who are in cryogenic sleep for whatever reason, even if they were in there for nefarious purposes. What part is getting them out? It's not the chances of them being a super badass zombie killing army is very slim. And second of all, if they're monsters, then all you've done is give yourself 2,000 zombies to kill on a ship you cannot escape.
Oh, and even, they are innocent. And, they figure out...
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if they figure out. They assume that they're being studied by the Umbrella Corporation or whatever.
Sure, but all you're doing is giving yourself a problem to solve. Why not loose them from there when you've A, secured the ship, and B, make sure you have a way to feed and take care of these people?
You've also introduced hundreds of potential zombies.
Exactly, yeah, because I don't remember how it works in the movie from the first movie. Is it one of those things where if you get bit, you turn into a zombie, or is it just weird gas?
It's not covered.
Okay.
Presumably that's how it spreads.
That's how most zombie lore goes. Yeah. So,
but it doesn't come up. We don't have anyone in this movie who gets bitten and then slowly turns into a zombie.
Right.
Thank God, because I'm so tired of that.
I guess that was I assumed Meathead was going to come back as a zombie, but I guess not if you're spoiling that now. But yeah, I just don't, what is the lot? I get the desire to, they're innocent people, you want to free them from, evil lab, but maybe think about the timing and the steps. Because all you've done is create potential zombies, or have to fight zombies, or just now you have 2,000 mouths to feed.
I don't think I mentioned it, because I'm about to go through a long, protracted thing about the showdown.
Okay, great.
But they only free one person.
Uh-huh.
And she ends up being kind of saves the day in the fight. When everyone's down and out, and the producer guy pulls a gun on Mila, toward the end of the fight, the one person they free shows up and swings something at his head and knocks him out, and lets Mila finish the fight.
Great.
So it's that whole thing where it's oh no, there's no possible way. The one girl they freed. Yeah.
Of course. Of course.
So we're gonna go through this a little fast, Larry.
I bet.
Whew. There's an epic battle in which the following things happen.
Okay, can't wait.
Agent Smith flings his sunglasses as if they were a weapon, but nothing happens. Mila roundhouse kicks the producer. A demon dog gets shotgunned in the mouth. Okay. Agent Smith does a series of backflips in slow motion to avoid bullets with bullet trails that go past him.
Oh my God.
Mila kicks a broken pane of glass into the other demon dog and splits it in half.
All right, cool.
More bullets with Matrix bullet trails whiz by Agent Smith's face just under his nose. Producer stabs Mila through the arm with a knife. Agent Smith kicks Hannibal and Amnesia Chick at the same time into separate cryogenic tubes and starts freezing them.
Stupid but awesome.
Mila pulls the knife out of her arm and stabs Agent Smith in the head. Agent Smith isn't too fazed by a knife to the brain, so he just pulls it out. A crab demon zombie starts crawling out of his mouth, but Mila shoves her sawed-off shotgun into the crab demon zombie mouth hole and fires a bunch of quarters into it, which explode out the back of Agent Smith's head. Agent Smith falls down, apparently dead. Mila picks up a tablet, gets her friends out of the tube. Agent Smith starts to get up, but Hannibal and Amnesia Chick, who are brother and sister apparently, start unloading their pistols into Agent Smith's chest, finally killing him.
Okay. Oh, the brother and sister.
That I think they came up earlier.
I think they're from the games. Then there's a brother and sister team in the games.
Yeah, because when he sees her, he's like, "Don't you remember me?" And she's Amnesia Chick, so she doesn't.
Of course not.
So
okay, that's all right. That's a lot.
It was a lot. It was a pretty big fight.
It sounds stupid, but the thought of kicking them both into separate cryogenic tubes, I shamefully think that's kind of cool. Even though it sounds so stupid.
It would be much better in a cartoon.
Yeah, I agree.
That would be dope in a cartoon, but here it's just kind of...
Jesus. Yeah, that's fair. I have terrible taste, I know.
So our heroes go to leave. They lock the producer man in the science lair, because he's still alive.
Okay.
And he's like, no, let me out. I'm very important. And then we hear, like, zombie sounds and, like, I don't know, the devil dog isn't actually dead and it's eating him or something. So he's dead now.
Okay, great.
They're kind of walking around the ship, but then they hear the sound of Agent Smith's helicopter flying away because he's not dead.
So he's immortal. Okay. Great. All right.
In the cockpit, Agent Smith pulls out his lair self-destruct button.
He does have to. He could have accidentally blown the ship up. How did they accidentally get onto his lair again? Hold on a second. Wait. Wasn't the plot of this that the Arcadia was broadcasting like survivors come here, terminus for Walking Dead sort of thing?
Yeah, that was, I didn't explain that properly. I'm so sorry, Larry. It's a trap to lure survivors in.
Oh, right. So he can
experiment on them, and because he wants to get more powerful, because, like, he has the virus, the gay virus in him, which makes him, like, part zombie, which is why the thing's crawling out of his mouth, and he has to get more powerful so he can control the zombie part of him that makes him super powerful. I don't know, fuck all.
Here's my question, too, is how did over 2,000 people survive the apocalypse and get onto a cargo ship, which is some manner of on water, and then were captured by what appears to be one man and crammed into tubes? Like, you'd think...
Well...
there's a lot of questions that led up to the point of how they got this far until somebody kicked his ass.
It doesn't explain anything. I mean, it might explain things.
Just like think back to how did we get here? Like, realistically, somebody would have kicked his ass or blown up the ship at this point.
Well, this movie probably has the worst ending of any movie I've ever seen.
Oh, interesting. Go on.
However, it's like obviously setting up the sequel, which I need to watch the first 5 minutes of the next movie just to know what the hell they do with this
it actually
nonsense.
Hooked you? It actually hooked you?
No, I only want to watch the first 5 minutes to see how the fuck they handle it.
Oh, Isaac, don't you worry, baby. We're going to make you watch this entire series totally out of order.
I'm going to stab you.
Totally and completely out of order.
I'm going to drive up to Pennsylvania and stab you.
I welcome it. Go, bring it on, motherfucker.
So he pulls out his self-destruct button and, like, has a smug little smile.
I already forgot. He had another self-destruct button.
He's got a smug little grin and he presses it. And then he's got, and like Mila and everyone are like, run!
What, do they see him press it?
I guess she assumes that he's got a self-destruct button.
Oh yeah, this is the thing he does. He blows up his layers before he leaves.
It's like happened at least once.
He's like Magneto.
He's so predictable.
Yeah.
So she's like, run, everybody run! And he's presses the button smugly, and then he's confused because he hears a beeping sound. He gets up from the pilot's chair and finds that Mila has stashed the bomb on the helicopter.
Okay.
And he blows up in a giant explosion of white light, which this time has to kill him, I guess, except probably not.
So wait a minute, wait. If she put the bomb on his helicopter, why'd you tell people to run?
I don't know. Tension? The movie needed tension?
Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like it wasn't tense enough already.
So we see Meathead, still alive, emerging from a sewer drain. A couple zombies chase him and he shoots them. And he, like, comes out of the sewer drain hole and sees helicopters, like bad guy helicopters, flying overhead. Okay. There's a whole bunch of them.
Sure.
Mila and her friends on the Arcadia boat turn around toward the helicopters. Dozens and dozens of them, which are flying toward the ship. Hannibal says, "What is that?" Mila says, "Trouble." And the movie ends. What kind of ending is that? What the fuck is that?
This is an episode of a Netflix show. Is what it is. It's a Netflix show. They expect you to be binging it and either watch it immediately or watch it tomorrow.
The next movie came out 2 years after this one.
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
There's people who were invested in the Resident Evil franchise.
Like
who
you now.
Saw this cliffhanger and then died before they could see the next movie. There's probably hundreds of them who died, if not thousands.
Oh, man. Oh, God.
Spending eternity in purgatory, wondering what's going on with these helicopters.
Wow.
How are they going to get out of this one? Scoob and the gang.
Jesus Christ.
fucking train wreck.
That is bad.
So, yeah, the story for this is just completely incoherent. Utter nonsense. If you start thinking about any of the logistics of anything, how's she charging her camcorder?
That's a great question.
And like the logistics of the prison, and there's a few zombies crawled up through the sewer hole, and then no other zombies knew where the sewer hole was, and just all kinds of stuff. You're just like, and landing the plane on the roof, and Meathead pulling it down with his ankle weights, and so much stupid stuff in the movie. Having said that, it is very well put together and shot and produced. It's not winning Academy Award for cinematography.
Sure.
But it looks like a clean, nice, good movie.
Okay.
Special effects are all fine. Nothing to complain about. The zombies are, standard zombies, but they're good. The Axeman is creepy. All the special effects looked fine. And it's the fights are dumb but engaging, very derivative from The Matrix. So that pulls me out of it, where I'm just thinking about that the whole time and annoyed with it the whole time.
Right.
So my personal score for this, it's unbelievably dumb. If I shut off my higher level brain processes, turn on the reptilian brainstem, it's a fun movie. It's really stupid.
Sure.
But yeah, it's fun. There's a bunch of fights, and they keep getting in trouble and getting out of trouble and shit like that.
Yeah, there's something inherently fun about that sort of thing.
So my personal score, I gave it a 3, because it was, it wasn't really, it definitely wasn't coherent, but again, if you just stop thinking, it's coherent enough, by video game logic, it all works.
It sounds like they did lean on that more than I thought they would.
Yeah. So, if you're a 12-year-old Resident Evil video game fan, this movie's great. You're gonna absolutely adore it. That for me, all the Matrix stuff just completely pulled me out of it, and the plot inconsistencies. So that's why it's a 3. It definitely could have been worse, and the acting was all okay. No great acting, but nothing was terrible.
Yeah, my assumption was that, the first one would have got... not knowing really anything about the franchise itself of movies, my assumption was that the first one would have been the one they spent a lot of time and money and effort and marketing on. I do know that I remember seeing a ton of commercials. Again, this is back when I had television. For the one before this, I think it's called Apocalypse. I remember seeing a commercial every time it went to commercial. And,
okay. I think so. I remember that too.
But I assumed that these movies would have gone just generally when these kind of franchises exist, as they go on, they get worse and worse and they just become unwatchable garbage. But it sounds like they actually tried. And it might suck, but it sounds like somebody actually cared about it. Even though it sounds goofy and stupid, it sounds like it's kind of keeping in what they've created for themselves, the universe they've created for themselves.
Yeah.
So, which it's kind of surprising. I expected it to be more an incoherent, garbled mess. And I'd love to know what the hell the story is with the goddamn robots. That'd be great. But, if they explain it in the movie before, then I guess whatever.
This movie definitely knew what it was and accomplished what it was trying to accomplish, for sure. I'm a
little disappointed that it seems better than I thought. I thought it was going to be just a straight up stinker entirely, but it sounds like it wasn't terrible. Totally terrible.
Yeah. So a lot of times I'll kind of my verdict on a movie is would I ever watch it again, or in what circumstance?
Yeah.
And I would never choose to watch this again.
Right.
I would never choose to watch any of the other ones.
Right.
But if someone wants to come over for a movie night and they bring the third Resident Evil movie, I wouldn't protest.
Right.
Internally, I might roll my eyes, but I could sit through another one of these.
Right.
With
Sure.
especially if I have snacks, then I'll sit through it. It's not like a lot of other movies where I would, under no circumstances, watch again,
right?
Or watch a prequel or sequel of.
I'm really
covered on Bowels.
I'm really surprised by that. Actually, I really expected this to be totally, just because there's so many examples of just movie series like this where they might have one big budget, a lot of attention movies that maybe maybe it landed somewhere in the middle, maybe it was a little better than normal or worse than normal, and then everything after it is terrible.
Yeah,
That's
Fast
what
and the Furious comes to mind with that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think people like, I don't know.
People definitely like them,
Right,
but
right.
that's my assumption.
Sure.
Would have been my assumption for Fast and the Furious, because I've never seen any of them. Maybe the first one when I was younger, I don't remember. And this, I would assume, like, the first one's, like, fine.
Yeah.
And then they take a nosedive, but not quite for this. I'm sure the first one's better, but yeah, this...
Yeah. It's just surprised me that it seems way, I can't believe I'm saying this, better than I thought it would be. It sounds like it was watchable.
Yeah, and it's the kind of movie where if you're watching it critically, if you're like paying attention to inconsistencies or stuff like, you know, just the stuff we pick apart. Like if you're not going into it trying to pick anything apart and you just want a fun zombie movie where there's a bunch of action, like this movie's totally fine.
Huh. All right, yeah. Because I just watched Army of the Dead with my sister a couple weeks ago, which is, you know, a zombie movie about a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas. And the same sort of thing. Like, I didn't expect anything from it, and it was fun. You know, it's just a fun zombie. Again, I keep fucking consuming zombie media despite having a 12-year-old terror of them. Yeah, but yeah, same sort of thing. Like I enjoyed it well enough.
So overall, for me, 3. I do want to give it a second grade in terms of video game movies, because I've covered both Doom movies. Thank you, Larry.
Anytime. You'll be covering more video game movies as time goes on, don't you worry.
I'm gonna stab you. Both of those sucked. The one with The Rock was definitely better than the one without The Rock, because that was one of the worst movies I've seen.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I would rank them as a video game movie, but definitely neither of them would be above a 5.
Sure.
And this I would give a 7 in video game movie, like...
Yeah,
where you're stepping out of any logic and you're not thinking about, oh well, that was a lot of bullets in one revolver,
right,
and stuff like that, and
that's really fascinating.
So once you get rid of that stuff, and then the plot's dumb and a lot of it's predictable and foreseeable, and like the producer guy having his heel turn, and the villain keeps coming back and can't be killed over and over and over again.
Right,
like all that shit's dumb, but when you think about it like a video game, it's like, oh, yeah, well, just that stuff's fine. Just don't, it doesn't count.
Right. It doesn't count. Exactly.
You can't chalk it up in the negative category in terms of a video game movie.
I think you and I are particularly forgiving when something knows what it is and is like, exists in that space and it doesn't try to be more than that or is comfortable in that space. Like, I'm usually pretty forgiving about that sort of thing. And I think we're generally... So that's really interesting to hear your perspective on this. Well, this is not exactly what I wanted, but that's it's a fascinating sort of take on it.
Yeah, and for a movie I didn't utterly loathe, there was definitely a lot of shit to complain about. And
I mean, it sounds dumb it sounds dumb as hell, but there's a lot of things that are dumb as hell that can still be enjoyable.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched all H2O for Christ's sake.
It was fun to write the review.
Yeah.
I actually went through it pretty quickly and kind of enjoyed picking stuff apart that I did. It was like, oh god, this ridiculous shit is so I kind of enjoyed it, whereas a lot of other movies like Riptide last 2 weeks ago, that was a slog getting through that.
Yeah.
So it was crap.
Interesting.
But fun crap. Fun crap. I don't particularly want to watch any more Resident Evil movies, so you don't have to give me any more.
You'll get more. You'll get more down the line. Don't worry.
I'm gonna give you a line to snort.
I wish. Well, I can tell you one thing. Next week, I am not gonna have so kind of a goddamn review.
Oh, well, you're doing the babysitter who monstered.
I cannot remember the name of my movie. Despite looking at it, I looked at it and then pressed play and went to write it down. And in that span of time, I already forgot what it was.
It's a babysitter's guide to her first period.
Yeah. Are you there, God? It's me, babysitter monster queen. No, the problem too is that you had an episode in this show called Babysitter Killer Queen, and that is just the first thing that pops into my head every time I think about that.
Do zombies still menstruate?
Yes.
Thank you.
In Army of the Dead, there is a pregnant zombie, and I know that sounds like a spoiler, but it is the most obvious thing in the world by minute 20. So get over it. So yes, zombies menstruate.
going to start in my fanny pack that I wear. I'm going to just start carrying around a couple of tampons and pads. So if I ever meet a female zombie, I can hook her up and hopefully she won't eat me.
So it's... nothing I can say to that will be anything that'll be good for either of our careers. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
I'll send you a fanny pack with some tampons in it.
Great, thank you.
All right.
What a Christmas gift. Which, speaking of Christmas gifts...
Speaking of Christmas...
we had talked about a little bit ago that in the wake of an awful set of Christmas movies, we wanted to do Christmas in July. And your next episode will be the first Sunday of July, and as such, we're gonna do it. We're pulling the cord. We're gonna start
the jingle bell trigger.
We're gonna start Christmas in July just for you folks. And
it's Santa's coming around twice this year.
I've had this in mind for quite a while because it is too fitting, and also as what this show has become is me protecting myself from having to watch this garbage. When I see something and I think, oh God, Isaac is definitely going to make me watch that.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to win this round because I have a Christmas movie in mind.
I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. We're going to have to see because this is just too perfect and there's no fucking way I ever want to watch this shit.
Oh God.
Do you remember... Do you remember a while back when you gave me a movie starring a square-headed little girl named Selena Gomez?
When you said square-headed, I thought of Spookly. Pumpkin.
No, you already gave me Spookly's Christmas Story. There's not two of those, thankfully. So.
Is there a Selena Gomez pumpkin Christmas movie?
No, but do you remember what that movie was called?
Selena Gomez, My First Period as a Zombie?
Jesus Christ. No, that movie was called A Cinderella Story.
Oh.
Well, and that was off of another Cinderella story-based movie starring some other starlet who I don't remember now, and I didn't look it up because fuck that. Well, it turns out, Isaac, they also made a Christmas version, and you will be watching A Cinderella Story Christmas Wish. I saw that and thought, oh no, Isaac will definitely make me watch that.
Oh, God. Despite her vain stepmother and mean stepsisters, yep, Cinderella, all right, thanks. An aspiring singer, yep, great, aspiring singer, works as an elf at a Christmas tree lot and finds her own holiday miracle. It's gonna be love, isn't it?
Merry
It's gonna be
Christmas.
love. She's gonna find love.
Merry Christmas, you piece of shit.
God, I hope she gets fucking railed behind an Outback between the dumpsters.
Well, it's rated PG, which means
Yeah, we'll only see like from the nips up.
Pornography graffiti, which will be on the behind
Pornography
the Outback.
guaranteed.
Yes. So there will be pornography guaranteed, yes. So, yeah, I think so. I think he's getting railed behind an Outback.
Oh, there's so many Christmas. The Night Before Christmas.
I also
with a
see
K.
The Night Before Christmas, yes.
The Princess switched again, part 2.
We could honestly do...
no.
If I could go back in time and redo this entire show, we would just do Christmas movies and then on Christmas do, like, something entirely different.
Zombie movies.
Yeah, exactly.
We might have to have a Christmas year.
There
like
are so many Christmas movies, and they're all bad.
Like, on year 5 of the podcast, we might have to just be like, all right, 2023 is Christmas.
We are celebrating the birth of Christ all year round.
Oh, God. Well, I can't wait to give you yours. I gotta research and see if it's still on there, because I obviously gave you Spookly and the Christmas Kittens last year, but there was another one that my wife was begging me to give you because it was so weird and bizarre.
I like your wife. Don't ruin this.
Hey, you both kill dogs.
No, only in our dreams, and we both feel bad about it.
You know who else started out only in dreams?
Oh, God.
A young painter from Austria.
Oh, I thought you were doing Mengele again. Didn't we get a restraining order to keep him off this podcast?
I think so. Oh, boy. You know what?
Shit.
You know what you can get me for Christmas? An original Hitler.
Man, think of the money that'd be worth.
I think they sell for like 10 grand. It's kind of a weird, dirty market where like who really wants to buy a Hitler painting, but people do.
It seems historically of fascination, though, don't
Yeah. But anyone profiting off of anything to do with Hitler is also a little like...
Yeah, I feel more of like the Indiana Jones, like it belongs in a museum. I don't really want one to hang in my house, but I feel like they're historically significant.
Very true.
It paints a portrait, to use awful phrasing, of a complicated, very evil man. I feel like they should be preserved in some form.
I learned that he used to, he was like a tourist painter. He would paint like watercolor postcards on the streets of, I think, Vienna or whatever city he was in.
God, what a piece of shit. What a dickhead.
So, like, if he's the guy you go to, like, these days in New York, who does little, like, street sketches, and will sell them to you for, like, he's, like, standing at the Brooklyn Bridge, just with, like, oh, yeah, I just did this sketch 10 minutes ago. Here you go. $5. That was Hitler.
Yeah.
So take care of your street artists, so they don't do a genocide.
Yeah, that sounds about right, that the worst human being to ever exist was a fucking street artist. That figures, doesn't it?
Oh, golly. Well, thank you so much for listening. This has been a bit of a weird one.
Yeah, this went in some weird directions.
I had fun.
I did too.
And, yeah, thank God I never have to watch another Resident Evil movie ever again.
You poor sweet boy.
Guess who's going to give you some?
Yeah. Well, I knew I was opening up those doors, but
I think we're going to cover the whole franchise.
I think we're going to cover the whole franchise.
Yeah, probably.
It's really pretty funny to try and piece it together over the course of however long it fucking takes
out of order, and with us both doing
both of us
movies.
doing it, not having a clue what the other's talking about. Yeah, that actually sounds pretty funny. So, I just need to as a favor to me, I need to ask you not to make me watch the first one again. In fact, I'm going to refuse to watch the first one again.
I think we shouldn't. Neither of us should watch the first one.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Because you have a vague, hazy remembrance of it, and I know nothing about it.
I remember a bunch of scenes from it. I just don't remember the story. I remember the parts that kept me awake. Because I can never rewatch that movie or Mars Attacks. I staunchly refuse, because I need to continue to exist as an adult.
Oh, you poor thing.
And not regress into a child.
All right, so we are the Barrels of Netflix. Find us on Facebook, find us on Twitter. Give us a little shout out on the old email, barrelsofnetflix@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Rate, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You know how to be a podcast fan.
Yeah.
We love you, you love us. We'll mail you a hot dog if you do the right stuff for us.
Yeah, well, yes.
I don't know what that is, but yeah.
Sure.
I bet we could, mailing a hot dog can be at Patreon level one day.
Yeah, I feel like if we ever get popular enough, I feel like there should be a Patreon hot dog club of the month.
Imagine us, 10 years from now, in our, Bowels of Netflix corporate office, just with a fridge full of hot dogs, just stuffing them in envelopes and sending them out.
Yeah, I feel you're never going to get a podcast tier like that, where every month we'll send you a hot dog, an emaciated hot dog in the mail.
Oh boy. Well, you chose to listen to this.
Yeah, you've made that conscious decision.
Again, unless you're being tortured in Guantanamo Bay by America, and they're just playing this podcast on repeat.
Is that an honor? No, it's not.
No. And, if we mailed them hot dogs, because they don't do the pork, right?
I don't know.
Someone doesn't eat pork. It's definitely not me. I eat a lot of pork.
Bay of Pigs.
I eat too much pork.
The Bay of Pigs is all I know. Isn't that where Guantanamo Bay is? The Bay of Pigs?
In Cuba, yeah.
Yeah, aren't they, next to each other?
They're both in Cuba. I don't know. I don't know that. Sorry, I'm not up on my Cuban geography.
Well,
apologies.
You failed me again.
All right, we love you, and we will see you next week.
Smell you later in Raccoon City's Bay of Pigs. Nope, I got nothing. Nope, joke failed.